What makes Lethal Company so scary? Well, I can think of a few things. I've played a lot of Lethal Company. Some might argue too much Lethal Company, but some people also eat babies. You can't trust some people. While it does succeed in tickling the funniest of bones, the main reason I keep coming back is because after 150 odd hours, it still manages to scare me more than taxes and child porn. Let's start with what affects horror the least, how the game actually looks. Like shit. Now obviously the less information we have, the scarier something is, and in an environment such as this, your minds have to fill in the blanks of all the scariest things we can think of. Child porn. Using the advanced technology of making the game look like ass, the player's visual information is cut down significantly. I mean, when I first saw a bunker spider, I thought it had to be the most hyper-realistic spider I'd ever seen in a video games. It looks like this. What is he made of, Play-Doh? Tastes like it. Some of these horrifying attributes might be due to how the lighting in the game was made so cleverly. Not just because it's somehow the most breathtakingly hideous game I've ever seen, but because when looking into light, everything behind it becomes a lot harder to see. Now it doesn't affect all lights, obviously, but a good chunk of them do cause a sort of blinding effect. This completely turns lighting on its head. Never in a horror game have I said, "Oh man, this light is making it so hard to see." Look at one of these dingy ceiling lights or try carrying a lamp through Rend, and I'm sure you can see what I mean. It's much easier to see when these lights aren't blocking what's in front of us. But when they're gone, we're left in complete darkness. So what's better? Darkness or blindness? Don't answer that. When it comes to any and all horror media, audio has got to be the most important factor. Except horror books. Pyrotechnics. Whoa! From the sickeningly sweet soundtrack to those incredibly mood-setting stingers, Lethal Company's sound is nothing short of incredible, especially for a solo developer. So let's go over every sound in Lethal Company. Give it a B. One of the coolest things about Lethal Company's sound is that, bar a few exceptions, everything you hear is actually around you. So as you walk away from the main entrance, the fan sounds will eventually be unhearable, meaning if you're not near anything that makes sound, then you're left in silence. Now there's a debate to be had whether silence is scarier than perpetual background noise, but I feel Lethal's method is quite interesting, as you can actually go out and find the sources of these sounds. Now this seems quite obvious, we all got fucking ears, we can hear. Shut up. Most games have this type of audio, it's to be expected. But in a horror game, usually there's some kind of ominous soundtrack or footsteps, ambience that plays every 5 fucking seconds. And while Lethal Company has these elements, they're not nearly as apparent as in other games. There is no music inside, ambience is short and inconsistent, and footsteps are incredibly important to the actual gameplay. Oh shit! You are always listening for footsteps, because they'll let you know exactly what's out there. You'll hear a thumper before you see one, which is why the more dangerous enemies tend to have little to no footsteps. Because, you know, it's scary.
What about the big sweaty monsters?
We'll get to the sexy monsters. Geez, so what does a horror game need to do? It seems like it can go anywhere a regular game can, and while that's somewhat true, I'd argue it needs to make you feel uncomfortable. This could be achieved by shoving a deliciously lossless file format into your face format, but this is lame. A better way is to force the players into doing something they don't want to do. Lots of HGs do this, it's like the fundamentals of all horror games. But Lethal Company takes this and puts its own spooky spin on things. For a good chunk of the quotas, you don't have to go to Ren, Dine, or Titan. You can stay on the less dangerous moons where there's less monsters. But with less monsters, there's less loot, and so it won't be sustainable in the long run, meaning you have to go to these dangerous moons eventually. It simultaneously makes you want to and not want to go to these places. Very clever, Mr. Furry Man. Rise and shine, Mr. Furman. While the game is completely open to you, it manages to create a sense of progression as it pushes you towards these more frightening places in order to make the quotas. But it gets smarter and scarier, like child porn. Inventories, don't we love them? Skyrim fans, don't they prefer lists and masochism? But look at this. 4 slots, Yeah, four slots. Bye. You can only carry 4 pieces of scrap at a time, but if you want to be safe on these moons, you're gonna want a flashlight, a shovel, some spray paint, a jetpack. Yeah, we're gonna have a problem here. You don't get the luxury of a flashlight built into your nipples. You don't just get to punch those bugs to death. You can't just fly. Yes, I can. It's that or being able to grab more goodies. Ooh. Some people ask, how does a jar of pickles weigh just as much as a whole-ass engine? And to that I say, yeah. It's pretty fucked, isn't it? You know what else is fucked? Bracken's on experimentation.
What are we talking about?
No, we are not talking about those
Sexy.
monsters just yet. Let's instead talk about bullshit. Not only is the scrap randomized, but so are the monster spawns for every moon. Now, some enemies can't spawn on certain moons, but most of them can spawn basically anywhere, with varying spawn chances. But just because that chance is low, doesn't mean it can't happen. You can never be truly prepared for anything Lethal Company. You'll have to improvise for these tense scenarios, which just makes them even tensier, scarier. Artifice can spawn every enemy in the game, so what you see in there is basically completely random, which I think is fun. Okay, we'll talk about the... I love every enemy in this game, except Snare, please, they can suck my dick. They're all completely unique, with their own challenges to overcome. No enemy is quite like another when it comes to being dealt with, so let's break it down. I love these guys. I hate these guys. Some people say it's just a weeping angel, but some people are also wrong. The angels stop because they have to, and also, you know, you blink in real life, I think. But a terrifying thing about coilheads is that they don't stop when you see them. It's when they see you. Kinda. To think that a coil could spot you and then immediately begin dashing towards you is incredible spook design, especially when you consider that once a coilhead spots a player, it now knows where every other player is. So if a coil spots and kills your friends, that coil will begin dashing full spring to your location. I wrote full spring in the script instead of full sprint, but I think it fits quite well. Like and subscribe for more mistakes. I was a mistake. While things like SCP-173 move so fast that you can't even see it, the coilheads move at a slower, albeit so very fast speed. This is great as it gives you a chance to react when being ambushed, as well as when you're backing away, you can actually watch them thrust themselves towards you, showing how badly they want you, and how badly I want them. Let's talk about how they look. Like I said about spiders, I thought they looked incredibly scary, but that's probably because I spent most of my time running away and not actually looking at them. But with coils, you have to look at them. And I mean, I don't mind, because their design is so good. It's scary to look at, unlike most other monsters. It's just so generically horror, but in a good way. It makes sense that the enemy you're supposed to stare at has the scariest design. It really lets you soak in all the details about the, let's talk about something else. Oh, Jesus Christ. Bracken's are the hottest enemy in Lethal Company. I know I gotta look away, but I just can't! They're one of the few enemies that knows where players are at all times and will stalk them from behind before putting their big, meaty hands around you. My fucking phone went off again. Aw, gee, who is? That's a smash. Just follow players before cranking and... They know where every player is, they run super fucking fast, and they scream the whole time. Genuinely, actually, one of the best fucking monsters I have ever seen in a horror game. If you're deep in the facility, or lost, or God forbid his fat jiggly ass blocks the doorway out, you have to frantically run around and just hope there's somewhere for you to go. And there's no hiding from it, as it only goes back into the box once every player leaves the facility. So you're fucked if you can't get out. Smash! This enemy rocks, as in I want to throw rocks at him. Players who are alone for long stretches of time will build up their insanity meter. This makes them more likely to be targeted by the ghost girl, who will appear randomly behind them and eventually give chase, making your fucking head explode if she touches you. She is a menace, following you to the ship with no way to get rid of her. A haunted player is not a reliable one. She will target every player until they're all dead. The strat is not to look at her, but it's almost impossible with how, you know, she's a ghost and could come from anywhere, but yeah, good stuff. Real spooky because you look crazy and no one can help you. Pass. The mimics grab you and insta-kill you, have the same sprint speed as you, make player footsteps and look like players. I mean, this is just perfection right here. You think it's your buddy and or chum, but alas, it be ye fucking masked bitch face. You can spawn naturally, or you can be a prick, and will go around infecting other players and turning them into mimics, which can generate a fucking zombie apocalypse. Getting back at just seeing this dude, oh man, oh jeez, I'd sneeze. On the monitor, they even occasionally spin around, which is what players used to do when they wanted to be teleported by whoever was manning the ship. So players would see this, think they're teleporting their buddy, and they get totally, what the fuck is this? Yeah, what the fuck's going on here? But to hurry things along, let's do a lightning round. Smash, smash, pass, smash. Smash. On Tuesdays. Bunker spiders are pure arachnophobia, as well as being loud, fast, and deadly. Their nests can often block ways back out, so you gotta prep yourself for some seriously spooky encounters with this salty solution. Butlers have great ambient cues, and it'd be like walking into your living room and seeing Jeffrey Dahmer. He runs quick and attacks quicker, and the sounds he makes is basically Outlast chase music. As well as killing him makes even more shit spawn, and also he blows up. Hygro deer! Blue raspberry. Well, I guess that's everything. See you guys later. Lethal Company is masterfully scary. Truly my favorite horror game of all time, because after so many hours, it still scares me to my core. Whereas other horror games stop being scary the minute I open them up. I love this game. And this video wasn't meant to be crazy analytical. That's just out of my brain capacity. But there's a lot of little things I notice about this game, and opinions I wanted to say and share, and if you've got any of those, slap it in the comments. I always respond. Literally. Always. From the visuals to the sound and all those creepy critters, this truly is one of the best games of this generation. Whatever that means. If you love Lethal Company more than Bracken porn, then you should like and subscribe, because I'm going to be making all sorts of Lethal Company videos, from ones with my friends to ones all by myself. I'll be going over mechanics, moons, items, entities. I'll be doing funny challenges. I'll be touching myself. Here's the link in the description. If all that sounds sexually ambitious and you want to support me more, then the best thing you can do right now is watch even more of my great videos. Great stuff, really great. As always, I love you more than my dog loves peanut butter and jam, and I'll see you guys when you sleep. I know what you did.